Welcome, everybody, to episode 98 of Dan Excelsior, the mostly Marvel podcast. As always, I'm Ricky, and with me today, we got Dennis. We got just Dennis.
Well, I hope you got me. I
I
don't think
mean,
you've
it
ever
would have been
done the
weird
show
if I
without me.
would have called you and you weren't here.
Yeah,
We've never done a show without you.
that's correct.
Yeah, can we
You've
do a show
always
without you?
no. It's called Dan Excelsior. It's kind of like you could. I give you permission to do a show without me if that's what you're asking for.
It's like the
Uh,
what is it, the Regis and Kelly and the Kelly and Michael and Kelly and Ryan. Like,
yeah, I'm the Kelly.
am I Regis?
I no, you're
Okay,
like Michael or something.
I'll take
You're the
Michael.
Mike. You're the Michael.
None of them are canceled, so I'll take anyone.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, we're doing this again. We're doing
That's
it.
fair. And we went to the fair this past weekend.
Wow.
I'm always be transitioning.
Gonna get you that shirt, ABT.
Yep.
You can wear it. Yeah, we went to the fair. I never saw you, so I guess we it's still true. We did go, but I never saw
What
you.
is your fair experience or lap? So, for those of you who don't know, we are talking about the San Diego County Fair, which, from my understanding, is one of the biggest county fairs in the country.
Yeah, it's like the seventh largest one in North America, I believe, and it's one of the largest. By the way, I learned when I was doing the photo competition. I learned it's one of the largest juried like contests, photo contests in all of North America, actually. But what is my experience with it? Like, what do you mean? Like, I guess,
Like, you get to the fair, what's your? Because there's so much you don't see everything there, right? Like,
yeah. So
what's your lap?
I'll break it down. I've been going for I don't know, like 20 years, something like that. And I used to go only on 4th of July. That used to be my thing because you could see really awesome fireworks there,
Yeah.
and you could eat like you were American. Like you could just eat like you didn't
The
care about the
indulgence
diabetes.
is incredible there.
The what?
The things you can indulge on is amazing.
Yeah, or just or terrifying, whichever
Or
you want
yeah,
to call
or
it.
disgusting. Yeah.
Yeah, but I used to do that. Like I'm trying to get a little healthier now, so I don't eat as much garbage anymore. And over the years, like as I've started to, go like I'll be fair. The first thing I always do is get a little tray of cheese curds, fried cheese curds. Got to eat those. Those are amazing. They start you off good. They're just fried. They got a little bit of garlic.
That's a heavy appetizer.
You share them, and they're not heavy. They're like little, like tiny little mozzarella sticks, like tiny. They're little bite-sized thingies.
I know what a cheese curd is. I
Yeah,
feel like that's
but
I eat
you're
cheese
already
as a meal.
you're judging. You're
Yeah,
already
that's what I
shaming.
do. It's called color commentary.
You're literally always telling me to not rain on other people's parades, and there you are making faces about my cheese curds.
I mean, my
Uh,
faces could be good faces.
it's not though.
You gotta watch to find out.
I'm letting the people listening know Ricky made an ugly face when I said cheese curds.
I specifically go to Freddy's Steak Burger to get cheese curds as a meal. So if you're saying that's a starter, that's impressive.
Yeah, it's a starter. It's a starter. And then and so that's always been constant. Cheese curds constant. And then fill in whatever other crap you want in the middle. And then we always kind of end the night with corn. We always finish with corn.
Cup of corn, cop of corn,
I get it on the cob. I don't like the cup. I like the
uncut corn.
uncut corn. Yeah, I like that. And then I'll fill it in with a bunch of crap in between. And
Are
then
you doing any lotte corn or just a corn?
corn with a lot of stuff on it, but I don't usually put mayo on it, but I put like
Okay.
all the other stuff on it. Like, yeah. But over the years, like we've kind of expanded, I've been like trying to watch what I eat more when I'm there. So we started discovering other stuff like, hey, there's art at the fair. There's and that's kind of like what kind of started me down the path of like I think I can do this better than these people do, so or at least
I
as
mean,
good.
there's some good art in general at the fair, and then there's
Yeah.
some like okay stuff.
That's what I mean. I don't mean
Yeah.
I can be better than everyone at the fair.
No,
I
for sure. There's definitely like a bar.
Yeah, I just want to be above the lowest bar. And
Yeah.
so yeah, that's what that was kind of one of my goals last year when the fair came back after several years of pandemic, and then Comic-Con came back, and I went to both, and I was like, you know what? It's time. It's time to just try. And so, so I got a different relationship with the fair this year because I really got to go like 4 times, 5 times. I got to go 5 times
That's a
this
lot of
year.
fair.
I got to go once way before they were even constructed to drop off my art, and then the second time I got to go before they opened for a reception, and then they gave me 2 free passes, so I got to go twice this year, and then I got to go again yesterday after and see the whole thing being taken down, and it was really weird and gross. But yeah, it was cool. Is this what you wanted out of?
Yeah, I just want to know your little fair loop is. I mean, mine, we got there. I hadn't been in a minute, even pre-COVID, and we immediately had 2 speakeasies in the fair this year. So we
Yep.
made it a mission to find the speakeasies, and I don't know if it counts as a speakeasy when you go in there as like 100 people. I feel like that's cheating.
If all 100 know, well, I mean, if you think about how many people were at the fair, 100 is pretty small.
I mean, 100 is pretty small fair, but it, we go get our drinks. And I just like wandering, go see some animals, go see, had monster trucks that day. We got some food. I got like a cone with macaroni and buffalo chicken and fries all together in one. It was a quick little fair trip.
I got pot stickers covered in flaming hot Cheetos.
That's pretty, like the dust.
Yeah.
Okay. I love fair games like the water balloon game where you squirt the gun with the water balloon, or
You mean
the
carny
horse
games?
carny games. But tell me if I'm a bad person. Like
Yes, you are.
if it's only you playing, you get like a small prize. But if you wait for like to fill up, you get a bigger prize because you're beating more people.
Yeah.
I kind of wait
you're
for
a bad
like
person.
for like kids to go so I can fill up the slots.
You're a bad person.
And I win because I'm good.
You win because you're an adult. That's why you
win. I mean, sometimes I give them the toy, but
did you do it this year?
I did not give away a toy this year.
You're a bad person.
Are you supposed to?
I don't know.
If you're stepping up to the plate, you're.
I don't play the carny games because they're not rigged for. They're rigged to just be either draining your money, or it's going to be unfair to somebody. It's going to be unfair to the kids. It's going to be it's okay. It's fine. You have your fun. You do your fun your way. I won't sit here and make faces at you and stuff like you did.
So stealing from kids approved.
I'm just saying, you do like my joke with everything at the fair that you could win is there's a really high probability that it's filled with spider eggs. So do you really want it coming home anyways?
I mean, it's sitting on the couch behind me.
Spider eggs. Most likely spider eggs.
Well, speaking of spider eggs and potentially Spider-Man, while we were doing our little weekly show planning, we kind of wanted to throw a little curveball and see, what are our top 10 live action superhero suits? Man. So we did a little homework for the past few days to kind of get our lists together.
These segues are amazing.
I'll always be transitioning.
Yeah, and I just wanted to make sure, you let people know. Anyone in the comments who happens to be hanging out, feel free to let us know what your top 10 live action superhero costumes are. But yeah, we just thought it'd be fun to share ours and maybe say why and rank them. Ricky, I'm gonna let you go first because I wanna see what yours you got.
You wanna? All right. Am I starting at? I assume starting at 10, right?
Please start at 10. That's the cool way to start.
Number 10, I got the Mark 85 Iron Man suit, the one from Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
I really like this suit. I don't like the suit from uh, Infinity War. I think that suit sucks. I think the nanotech looks dumb. And I know this is essentially the same suit, but just the color blocking, it gives it that kind of classic look. You kind of get the muscles in there too, like the comics.
It's not the same suit. It's not the same suit. I have the toys. They are different.
Slightly different.
They're different enough, like that they had to make a different molds on him and stuff. But yeah, but
the
color blocking
muscle-ish and the color blocking, this is like the modern classic Iron Man.
Yeah, he looks a lot like, you could see the reference to the 80s, Iron Man, and I think that's what they were kind of going for. I like this one a lot, because I like the spirit of this one, but I don't think it nailed it as good as they could have. But I'm cool with it. I like it.
Cool. We're off to a good start. Number 9.
But I'm just curious, why do you like that one? Like what about it gets you? I guess I'm trying to understand your list. Like where are you coming from with your list? What are you looking for in a good superhero suit?
Kind of true to source, whether that be the comics, obviously, or its place in its own movies universe. Like contextually, would it make sense there? Would I buy a toy of the thing? Would I buy a hot toy of this?
That's a fair gauge. All right, cool. Okay. Keep it going. Jane Foster, number 9.
Number 9, Jane Foster.
Okay.
This one, I think it's pretty true to your comic design. I think a lot of this has to do with Natalie Portman herself. She didn't just put on the suit, but she's obviously like lifted to fill out the suit. She's pretty jacked in the suit. And I think it looks awesome because of it.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that we got her in the helmet as well. I know a lot of the characters usually ditch the helmet pretty fast or don't get them, so I was happy to see it. She has at least one scene with the helmet.
I will say the CG on that helmet's pretty terrible, though.
It's pretty terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just putting that out there. All right, keep it coming. What you got next?
Number 8.
Number 8.
Wesley Snipes as Blade. If I'm not mistaken, this kind of reset what Blade looks like, because he did not look like this up until that point, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I mean, this
is out a little bit.
This is iconic because, because Blade wasn't iconic, and so they stamped a look. They said, you know what? If people don't recognize Blade as a household name yet, then let's do it now. And so I think it's just not even just like any specific part of his costume. I think it's his overall presence that he brings to that movie that just made Blade forever.
I mean, you look at this, memorable. If you're familiar with the comics, you know this is Blade, right?
If I saw his teeth, yeah. Like if I saw his teeth, I'd be like, "Oh, you're Blade." Like otherwise, I'd be like, "Are you from the Matrix?" You know what I mean? Like there's a fine line between Blade and the Matrix.
Yeah, there's some red in there. Matrix didn't have red.
The first 2 Blade costumes didn't have red in it. I think it's the third one, or maybe the second. Maybe the second one did. The first movie, there's no red in his costume.
To be fair, I don't know where this photo's from. Number 7. I liked the Spirit of Vengeance Ghost Rider figure a lot, primarily because of the burning. It's a man on fire, a skull on fire, and I think this is the first costume that I had seen up to this point where like the suit is actually affected by the constant heat, and I thought that was really cool.
I'm not gonna lie, this is a good one that I completely overlooked.
I mean, he's dirty too. Like his skull's dirty and charred. His, everything about this look is.
Yeah, I think what I love about it is it's a very thoughtful execution of this a real life version of what Ghost Rider would look like. And so, yeah, I am really concerned about what it does to his jacket, but it's cool. Jackets. It's a cool looking thing. It's cool looking. That's a good one. I like that one.
Number 6. The Magneto suit from X-Men Days of Future Past. I like this suit. I wish it was a little bit more purple, but I really dig the classic Magneto, the big U on the helmet.
Yeah.
That's a look, and I love
You,
the way the cape kind of drapes and the way they did the collar there.
I respect their attempts to slowly finally acknowledge what fans wanted, which was to make them look like the comics. But I think the X-Men movies just in general just failed
Oh
so
yeah,
hard
they could have gone further.
that like I think the only reason this one's kind of cool is because it's like the closest thing we got after like 8 movies or 7 movies or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, okay, fine. I mean, other than Professor X in a wheelchair, you know what I mean? Like that's
I mean, you got
okay.
the
I,
hover
I
chair eventually.
I get it. I mean, I never hated on his helmet. The helmet was always accurate every movie, you know. So
Mm.
I was just kind of like, that's your suit. Okay, I guess. But okay, to you, you know, if that's your thing, if you like the suit, cool. Let's keep it going. I want to see what else you got.
Number 5,
Mm,
I really like the Captain Marvel suit with the mohawk and the helmet. I have issues with the suit. I think I've talked about in the past where it's weird of her to keep that symbol if they're like really bad people because that's like a Kree symbol on her chest. But
yeah.
I overall I do love the Captain Marvel's look. I think her movie costume was pretty spot on. And going into that movie, I didn't think they were going to do the helmet with the mohawk because that's like a pretty weird specific look. And when they did it and it went, they did it well. I was happy.
Okay.
No love for Captain Marvel. Oh, the
No
only
love.
thing this is missing is the sash, but we got one.
All I can see when I see this is like awkward CG around her face. It's not doing her face any favors the way it's shaping it and stuff. And I sure they did the mohawk, but like yeah, I don't love the suit, but I'm glad that you as a longtime fan of Captain Marvel finally got this suit that you wanted so badly.
I have a
It's
Captain Marvel comic on my desk right now.
nice. That definitely makes you a longtime Captain Marvel fan. Keep going.
Number 4. I really like the Bat suit. We controversies aside with Ben Affleck and his role as Bruce Wayne. That is a damn good suit. The fat bats, the gray, the short ears. I think this is a Batman look a lot of people had wanted for a while, and to kind of get it done, I almost want to say perfectly, was a real treat in an otherwise bad movie. No thoughts, no comments.
I hate this suit. I just do.
Really?
I hate it. I think it's terrible looking. I think one just the idea of so many muted colors in the DC universe to the point where like we're looking at a black and white
Well,
version of this.
Batman can be muted in color.
Batman can be muted in
this is
color,
the most
but
color
it's
we've had in a Batman
but
suit.
if you're trying to do an iconic Batman like from the comics, like which has never been really done in a long time, I guess, like give him the freaking underwear, man. Give him the underwear. Otherwise, it just looks wrong. And then I don't.
I mean,
I don't.
sure. I'll
It's
concede that he probably could use trunks on this, but
he needed the trunks, and then also like I don't know. I just don't like. I don't like how they try and make it look like armor and skin at the same time.
I don't think. I think it's
It's
like a almost like a Kevlar layer. But I like
yeah,
how it has like stitching and it's been
but
patched,
the
and
musculature of it is stupid. Like it's just too much. Like
he's
I'd
just a
rather
buff Batman.
no, but it's Kevlar. Like it's not. Yeah,
That's how buff Batman is.
I just wish
Yeah.
DC would pick a lane, like because they're always trying to do armor and muscle at the same time, and it makes everybody look too swollen.
Do you like the Cavill suit?
No, I don't
Okay.
like the Cavill suit.
All right.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Just asking. That
Yeah.
clarifies your statements.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, I love the first Avenger suit. And the Captain America first Avenger suit.
Yeah, it's a good one.
The grays and kind of like the parachute strapping on his chest and the leather and the belt.
Yeah,
I think it works.
I think it was a big task for the costume designers
It's a stupid ass costume.
to adapt Captain America to look real in the world, And I think that was really clever for them to start by thinking of it from the perspective of the 1940s and what would that suit look like then. And it's a pretty cool suit.
I was happy. We also got the OG suit in that movie too.
Yeah, the OG's bad, but it's funny. It's funny. Yeah, it's a good suit. I can respect this choice. I respect this choice. It's good.
Okay.
It's good.
Number 2. I think the Civil War Black Panther suit, and I guess the beginning of Black Panther 1, is probably one of the best suits the MCU's ever done. Just the layering, because it's an all black suit. How do you make that interesting? And the design work that went into it, the necklace. I like that it was like an actual suit, and I really don't like the CG suit that they have in the movie, and even with the Shuri's suit. I like how he has a helmet. He takes it on. He takes it off. It just feels very real and heavy, but
because
also
it is
practical.
Real. Because it is real, and that's what makes it cool. You're going to get absolutely zero arguments from me on this one. I 100% agree with everything you just said.
Okay.
And it might be on my list as well.
Number 1. As there's a shrine of Sam Wilson, Captain America behind me.
Oh, man.
I love this suit purely for the fact that it is ripped straight from the comics. This is his suit.
And I mean, in fairness, it's ripped from comics that occurred in like the last 15 years or 10 years. So like they were kind of already designing stuff to be movie appropriate at that point in time. So like, sure.
But the wings, the color blocking, and one of my favorite little things from the making of the show is like they're talking about how like unpractical the suit is with the gapping and this kind of half face cowl, but just something about this suit. I just love the wings. It all, in hindsight, looking back, like this was the obvious choice for Captain America, right? Because in the comics it was Bucky for a minute, right? And to have like the Falcon
and US Agent.
I just think the suit's so clean and it's bright, but not. I wouldn't consider it gaudy, right? It's at the end of the day American flag, but I just think it works. That's my favorite suit.
I think that's cool. That's your favorite suit. I'm not gonna knock it. I think it's audacious. I think it's a little. It's a bit much. But I love that he's rocking America's colors, in his own way. So it's cool. It's cool. It's an interesting top 10. I kind of dig it. All right. Before we show my top 10, I just want to clarify for what my thoughts going into this were. I've been watching comic book movies for as long as I've been around, and there's a few things that really tickle me. One, first and foremost, is if you make it look like it did in the books. Obviously, that is a very special thing. But if you make me believe, that it works in that movie and looks like the suit from the comics, that's the pinnacle, right? Other than that, though, there are occasions like Blade, like you said, where they redefine it in a way that I think is so impactful that the art follows, or the original source material ends up adapting to follow suit, right? And I think that's really cool when those kind of things happen. So there are times when the movies just get it so right that I never want to go back. And so those are my two kind of spaces that I live in, and that's kind of where I came to decide on these. And then Joel Benjamin is joining in, saying Captain America's stealth suit for Winter Soldier.
That's a good suit.
Is my favorite. Joel, you're not far from my list here. So let me get down to it. I actually got you slightly more than 10. I got some honorable mentions at the end.
What? I didn't know we could have those.
But I did it. Because I made the game. So that's how we go. Now I'm going to start off with something that might be controversial. I got to give it to Love and Thunder Thor in this particular fur outfit. I wished Thor always wore this. When I saw him wear this in that he wears it for like 5 minutes in this movie, and I was so mad that he changed into that stupid gaudy golden thing for the rest of the movie. It's terrible. But this suit is probably my favorite look I've ever seen Thor in, because it just felt Norse. It felt like it occupied a space like both in the Marvel universe and in Norse mythology. And I think that's kind of the failure on previous Thor suits. They always just felt like teched out space.
I mean, that black suit's pretty sick. I'm just gonna say.
You mean the black suit from Infinity War?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like this better because it's the black suit, but with
it's missing 2 discs
with the fur.
Disc.
It's the boots with the fur.
Nah.
Joel's adding more. He's adding more. Black Panther suit from the first Black Panther is my close second.
My second.
Agree to disagree.
I agree with you.
Agree to disagree. Well, he said from the first Black Panther, not from Civil War.
Oh, yeah, that's not on my list.
There you go. See, second up.
Is this a costume?
Oh my God! How is
like
this not
is the Shroud a costume, or is it the Defender Strange the costume?
I think all of it.
Okay.
I think all of this. Doctor Strange, the dead zombie, rocking the shroud of demons, corpses, or whatever it is. Like this, for me, was something I never knew I needed so badly in my life until it happened in that movie, in Multiverse of Madness. This is by far my favorite moment in that entire movie. I think it's one of the coolest CG effects that we got in that movie. And it just is so jaw-dropping when I see it that I'm not surprised when Hot Toys went and made this into an actual thing you can buy.
Mm-hmm.
This is, I don't even love Doctor Strange that much. And so for me to put this on the list meant this really impressed me when I saw this. It was just such a cool look that I'd never seen before for Doctor Strange. I love this one.
I prefer out of that movie. I think I like America Chavez's design the most out of that movie.
America Chavez is not a Doctor Strange.
She's in it though.
I don't think her design is anything special at all. I think it's just a girl in clothes. I think if that's the bar we're doing for superhero costumes, like I think we need to work on elaborating here on how we're doing these criteria. All right, here we go. Moving on. Hey man, I was thinking about it a lot.
Those are 2 separate Hellboys.
Those are. That's why it's number 8 is Hellboys. I think both of these guys totally transformed the way they looked to the point where they look like comic book Hellboy, and they barely actually look like the actual actors that played them. And I think that's a real testament to how committed they both were, Ron Perlman and David Harbour, to the roles. Whether or not you like one movie or one franchise over the other, I'm not even arguing that. I'm saying that when I saw these movies, I had never read a single Hellboy comic in my life, and I was sold on this character.
Have you seen
these guys?
Hellboy?
What's up?
Have you seen the David Harbour Hellboy?
I have. I didn't mind it.
No?
I liked it. I liked it. Is it as good as Ron Perlman? Nah. But it's not David Harbour's fault. But aside from that, completely separate, if you go grab a comic of Hellboy, dude, this is what he looks like.
He does look,
100%. He's one of the most accurate, faithful translations from print to screen I've ever seen. And it just made me really enjoy this character. And I immerse into that world. As ridiculous as this character looks, I believe it when I'm watching those Hellboy movies. I get it. They nailed the story fast. And then I'm just like, yeah, big red demon, horns cut off. Got it. Cool. What's the story?
I never noticed Ron Perlman's Hellboy. It does not have nipples.
It has bumps there, I guess. I see a bump. Anyways, I'm not going to spend this whole time talking about that. There we go, guys. I had to throw it on there.
Wow. 7, huh?
Civil War, Black Panther. Hey, this is my top 10. It's not yours. I don't know why you're judging me like that. I put the same guy on my list that everybody else.
It's a great suit. It's a great suit.
Yeah, it's a great suit, and I think it's regal. It's like you said before. It took a black suit and added things to make you to have texture and it's just it's like this is why I love Ryan Meyerding, the guy who's in charge of the costume designs and stuff at Marvel Studios. Is he makes everything look like it belongs in that universe. You know what I mean? And I think this is a great addition to the universe.
T'Chaka
Joel
suit's pretty
Benj was
good
just
too.
adding more. Yeah, the T'Chaka suit is also great, and that's an amazing one too. But yeah, I just really love this suit, and I love every version that comes after it too, just not as much as this one. And I think that's a really cool thing though, because like if you think about it, we got Black Panther introduced to us in a movie that also introduced Spider-Man into the MCU, and I'm sorry, but this was the better suit. Like this is like Spider-Man was cool.
I
He
mean,
was
that
really
suit's cool though. That's a good suit.
like but this was the first time Black Panther had ever been seen in theaters. And to nail it so well on the first try, like everything else is just like a variation of it, right? Like it's just like, well, we don't want to change it too much. Should we add some purple? Okay, some purple here, there, but yeah, I just think this suit knocked it out of the park, and good job to everybody who designed this one. Next up on my list, this is my favorite Batman, and this is because I honestly think, okay, this is my favorite live action Batman. Christian Bale. This is how he appears in Dark Knight, and I think Dark Knight Rises. It's a pretty similar suit in both movies.
He
The suit in
yeah,
Batman Begins is very different and
yeah,
very
it's a different
fat.
scene begins.
It's very fat. Like it has a lot of the problems that Michael Keaton's suits had too, where the neck is less able to turn. And so like I think the fun part about the suits in this, so just to back up, I said live action, this is my favorite, because I think my favorite Batman suit, honestly, is the suits that he wears in the Arkham games. I believe the
Irrelevant.
suits. No, but what I'm saying is I believe those suits because they're a mixture of tactical and theatrical. And what I love about the Christian Bale / Chris Nolan Batman suits is that's what they are. They're very tactical. Like they make me believe, and through the whole course of the trilogy, they show you like as he's redeveloping and redesigning parts of the suit. So you as the audience get to like know every little aspect
Well,
of
the
his suit.
premise of all of his tech is like military R&D.
Yeah.
They state that in the first movie.
Yeah.
To your point, yeah, they do really hit the nail on the head with everything that he's wearing feels somewhat based in reality, right? For some type of
Like
military
remember
application.
remember when they're showing you that the antenna for his communication devices are going in the horns?
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought that was so cool. Remember how like they spent the whole movie explaining to you what those little blades on his wrists are for? Like that was awesome. Like everything about his suit and the evolution of it, and how like when Dark Knight started, he's like, "Hey, ran into some dogs. They were kind of a problem. I need to get more flexibility in the suit." So Lucius went and whipped up this version for him, and it just got slimmer, and it got more agile. And I know buff Batman is a popular thing, but like I believe like someone who is as agile as Batman should not be like able to tip over easily. You know what I mean? And I just think I like this is my favorite Batman look, period. And you're allowed to not like that. That's fine.
You like what you like.
Yeah, I like what I like. Number 5. On the other end of things, like
It's a great suit.
Amazing Spider-Man 2, Andrew Garfield Batman, or I mean Spider-Man. It's just the most. I don't count the 5 seconds at the end of No Way Home, just to be clear. I know that's technically probably the most accurate Spider-Man that's ever been on screen. That was a CG guy that just swung around for a second. I will add it to my list the second I see that person actually take the mask off and put it back on. But for right now, Andrew Garfield rocked what I
Where
see.
does the first suit rank?
You mean
The
the
gold
Toby?
lens. No, the Amazing Spider-Man 1 suit.
Oh, you mean the one that looks like from the Broadway musical?
Yes.
No, that's a terrible suit.
Okay.
That
Right.
is not that, and I think that's why we got this suit, is because
It's a
there
great
was
suit.
so much negativity, like that came out about that suit in the first one. I think they just tried so hard to be different that they just missed the mark. And I think they course corrected in the most beautiful way in the second movie. I think this movie is not great. And I think it makes me sad because I think this is the most screen accurate Spider-Man we've ever gotten to date. He just looks great. Look at him posing. He's so
I'll
good.
counter with my favorite live action Spider-Man suit is the Disneyland Spider-Man suit.
No, get that out of my face.
100%. Because it
Not
has
even.
gauntlets. I love the web shooter gauntlets.
Get that
Love
out of my
them.
face. Too much. All right, moving on. Number 4. For me, this is peak Captain America that I almost thought we were never gonna get.
You got the scales.
We got the scales, but done in a way that I'm like looking at it and I'm like, yeah, that works. I don't know what those are. I mean, I think they should explain they're like, some sort of armor or whatever. But like this interpretation of classic Captain America done in real world, for me, I never thought I was going to get this suit because we got so many different ones that were all really good. Like every single suit that Captain America got in the MCU is just amazing. But like when I saw this thing and then get out of here when he picked up Mjolnir, that's just like, this is a treat for me.
I think this is a great suit. I just hate the stripes on the abs. They just need to be straight.
I love them. I love the texture of them. I do. But honestly, like as I was looking through all these, like when I was thinking about it, like in general, just Captain America has some of the best suits ever in all of his movies. But like I had to give an honorable mention. Like if I can't give them the space for this, I did decide the entire cast of Winter Soldier all looks the most awesome they've ever looked for me. Like Joel was saying, like you were saying, the stealth suit is the most realistic, like cool version of Captain America I've ever seen. That's probably my favorite Black Widow look. That Bucky is amazing. He sells it as a villain. That's even the coolest Nick Fury we ever got. You know what I mean? Like it's
trench coat honestly, and black shirt, black pants.
Yeah, and honestly, the Sam Wilson, the prototype Falcon is it made me believe that Falcon could be okay. You know what I mean? So
did you like the suit from Falcon Winter Soldier, the white one?
Do you mean the one that you liked the best?
No, he wears the white. Remember his costume in the opening of that series.
Is it white? I don't remember.
It's white and red.
I don't remember the white. Maybe gray and red. I think it was probably gray and red.
There's white in there.
I like it. I do, but I think trying to add color to his costume just felt like I don't understand why he did it, because the way we got him in the first in the Winter Soldier didn't bother to have the color, and I mean, maybe I'm just I don't see the natural progression of like, why did you keep adding more colors to it when you were fine, but it's fine. But I just wanted to give a shout out to the everybody in Winter Soldier is awesome looking. Now we're gonna get a little weird here. My number 3, I don't know. I think this is just, it depends on how old you are. But I grew up believing that Superman wore a costume that was sewn by Ma Kent out of the blanket that he arrived in.
Is that from the movies or is that from the comics?
That's from the comics, man, and the movie. But like the point was never that Superman needs a crazy buffed out suit of armor. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't need that. He doesn't need something weird and that makes him look more alien than he already is. He needed something that humanized him and made him look like kind of adorable. So for me, I love the fact that Chris Reeves is just wearing cloth and it's his body, his actual physical body that fills out that suit. And it's adorable. It's so funny. Like, is it cheesy looking? Hell cheesy. Yeah, it's cheesy. But you know what? If you watch him in those movies, he doesn't wear it like it's cheesy. Look at that face on him. He is an American hero right there in that face. He's proud of what he's wearing. You know what I mean? Like he's not in any way ashamed of it. And I love that for him. And I love a Superman that doesn't care about what he's wearing. Um, what needles did Ma can't use to sew the suit if it's bulletproof? Exactly. Like we're getting into the weird stuff, right?
Vibranium suit from Machant.
We're getting into the weird stuff, but it doesn't change the fact that like it was made from a blanket. You know what I mean? So
How big
it's
was
just
that blanket?
exactly right. It's just a big ass blanket. So I just really love this. This is for me the best Superman on in movies that we've ever got. I actually prefer Tyler Hoechlin's Superman on Superman and Lois, but I think that suit suffers from CW-itis. It is not a great flattering suit for Tyler Hoechlin, and I wish that we lived in a world where it was okay to dress like Christopher Reeves nowadays, but it's not. Movies have gone so far in the techie texture like direction that you can't have somebody wear this anymore, and that's kind of sad to me. Number two, for me, I think the OG Iron Man got me so giddy, and he made me believe. He made me believe that Iron Man was a real thing there in those movies, and he set the tone. And so every suit that comes after it is an iteration of this suit and an improvement on this suit. And I love it for that because you can always trace it back to this suit. And I think that's a really cool thing. And he just set the bar.
There's a weird like bulkiness,
I
but
love the bulkiness to it.
slimness to it that again, I don't hindsight's 2020, right? But to your point, seeing this as like the base and then going from everything after it, it is kind of neat to see each iteration.
Right?
Be
Yeah.
slightly different, slightly slimmer, slightly,
Like I
slightly different
honestly
colors.
I geek out on the suitcase one, the silver and red one, like, but like I just think it's awesome that we got that. But like, and there's other ones that I geek out on, but they're all iterations of this one, and I think that this one sold that movie for me. You know what I mean? Like I came away from that movie not upset that this was the Iron Man I got. I understood the references from the comics because it was recently redesigned by Adi Granoff in the comics, and I had been reading those comics. So when I saw this Iron Man, I was like, "Whoa, that looks like we have a winner right here." And Joel agrees. That suit made me believe in Marvel, and hell yeah, this was it for me. Like I was on board whatever they wanted to give me because of this Iron Man suit. You ready for my number one?
Let's see it.
All right, guys, here we go. I gave it to the entire team of Deadpool.
That's cheating. That's
I know
cheating.
Joel gave it to Colossus from X2. I don't agree. I don't agree with X2. I think that for all the embarrassing mistakes that the Fox X-Men films did, I felt like it was Ryan Reynolds like specific mission to give us the most screen accurate versions of characters we've ever seen, including just the generic X-Men suit. I love Negasonic Teenage Warhead the second she took her trench coat off and her sweater and revealed that she was just rocking the X-Men trainee suit. Oh my god, I was just like, it looks so beautiful. It's always meant to look that cool. I don't know why Fox has ever been afraid to do this suit. And the same goes, like, and obviously the way Ryan Reynolds owns that Deadpool suit, you know what I mean? But that Colossus, man, that's freaking Colossus.
It's the hair.
It's everything about him. He's just so beautiful. So for me, it is really Deadpool, but like I think Deadpool is only enhanced by the people around him, right? Like it's all sold because of they finally gave us a Marvel universe outside of the MCU that actually felt like the Marvel universe rather than the Matrix universe. You know what I mean? Like it was such a joy to see. And honestly, I think Ryan Reynolds, it was a point of pride for him because the last time he played Deadpool before this, he looked like this.
You had it ready.
They
did him dirty. I mean, you kind of see what they were doing, right, with the eyes and
oh my god.
mouth, but yeah, this was bad.
It's terrible, right? Like, so I'm really happy that we got to have Deadpool be the way he is, and like, it's funny because there was leaks of his new suit in the newest movie right now, like on set photos, and I look at it and I'm like, yeah, it looks like every Deadpool suit that he's worn, maybe slightly redder. It's slightly redder.
Well, way to spoil the news.
I thought you already did all the news.
No, we haven't done the news yet.
I thought we started with the news. Okay, well, fair enough. Hold on. Here's my honorable mentions real quick. There you go,
You have a
Ricky.
late.
I
Okay.
had to keep Blade on there, but see, I have the teeth because the teeth
Yeah.
sell it for me. The teeth are everything. That's when I look at him and
Daywalker.
I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
the Daywalker, you know. And then because I am just OG, man, I can't not say I can't say no to the accuracy. If this is what Batman and Robin look like in the comics I was reading in the 1980s, when I turn on the TV and find reruns of these two, Adam West and Burt Ward, woo, I was in heaven for 30 minutes every night. It just, I didn't even know that this was dumb to dress like this. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know because I
Well,
grew
isn't
up
the
with
Robin suit like his trapeze suit, right? Like that's like the thing.
that is 100% the most accurate Robin suit that's ever been done in live action because he wears underwear and little elf
I didn't know
boots.
you had like an underwear fetish. You're being on that for a minute.
Well, that's my thing. I like the trunks because this is how they were when they were designed. This is how
Well,
every superhero designed
the
in the before the Marvel age, before the 60s, every superhero was
the
designed to wear
trunks
trunks.
were part for basically to break up the body, right? To get more
Yeah,
dynamic.
it was an artistic choice. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
they're
Yeah, they were just color blocking, it made sense. But like when you take it away, like if I was to Photoshop Adam West to just be all gray right there, it would look so wrong. It would look so wrong, and I don't know. It just for me, it takes attention away. But I know for some people it's the opposite.
I think it's the opposite for a lot of
But
people.
I had to put them on there. My boys, they're too classy for me. I couldn't say no to them. But with that said, I really, really did like your edition of Ghost Rider from the Spirit of Vengeance. You know how much I love that movie, even though it's terrible. It's so good. It's not terrible. It's the better of the two Ghost Rider movies. I wanted to put Yellow Daredevil on this list, but like I'm like
Yeah, I'm surprised no Yellow Daredevil or
he's
She-Hulk.
not. Yeah, She Hulk is not there yet. I'm giving her time to really get
Need the
to the
curly
looks.
hair.
I need some other looks that I want from her, but I do like her. I think she's good enough, you know. But I think the Hulk and She Hulk are both good enough to sell the whole thing. I'm not. I don't have a problem with them. I just don't. I don't look at them and get the same joy from just their visual appearance as I do from you know Deadpool. Like,
From Batman's underwear.
and I'm not even like the big Deadpool fan. I just think Deadpool, like, he brought it, dude. He brought the accuracy.
Well, let's bring on some more Deadpool and have some context to this conversation with some news.
Or we could
As
remind the audience that if they have their own opinions, they can share them on the comments and stuff
yeah,
like
share
that.
them in the comments. Be like Joel and comment to your heart's desire.
Before we do the news, how did you feel about my list?
I think your list surprised me a bit. I didn't think the Christopher Reeves or the Batman stuff would kind of be in there. I am surprised on some of them because maybe because you're like a toy collector and I don't see those toys out that often. Of the people that you picked, I feel like you have most of those toys somewhere.
Like, what do you mean, like Deadpool?
Like the specific movie suits or whatnots, or like I don't see you playing with those toys a ton. So to see them on your top 10 list, like, okay.
I didn't know I had to play with them a ton.
I didn't know you had to either.
I mean, I could have just made a top 10 list with 10 Spider-Mans on it.
I mean, I have my number one on a desk behind me. I don't see no Deadpool's behind you.
because I do art behind me, so I have to change it out constantly. I don't think he's my favorite figure. I don't think he's my favorite toy because I think your criteria for a toy is different than mine, right? Like I think for me, is the toy able to do all the things that he can do in the movie? I don't think the Marvel Legend of Ryan Reynolds can do all the wonderful things that he does in that
31
movie.
points of articulation.
Yeah, but he's missing them in some key areas. So I'm just saying that's for me. My criteria for toy is different. But we can move on. I'm curious.
Will you buy a toy of this new Deadpool leak?
I'll buy a toy of it, but it won't necessarily be on my desk in front of me or behind
A
me.
little bit of a brighter red, some gold thrown in there. And as the news came out earlier today, we're getting
is there gold?
There's gold on his hands and his buckles.
Okay.
But we're also getting gold in the form of Elektra. He will be apparently making a cameo appearance. We're talking about the Jennifer Garner Elektra.
You're talking about Jennifer Garner specifically.
Yes.
Yeah, I've heard rumors that Ben Affleck is being seen on the set of Daredevil. Or I mean,
I've actually never seen the Elektra movie. And I have not seen Daredevil since I saw it in theaters, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I'm going to say this, one to tie it back. I think I'm not surprised that Elektra is going to be in it, especially if I've been reading reports that people have seen Ben Affleck on the set as well, giving us the shitty Fox. They also are co-parents still, so it's not like they never see each other.
Their kids are like old now, aren't they?
They're still co-parents. You think once kids turn 18, do you stop seeing your separated parents?
I mean,
do you even stop seeing them together?
That's a little too personal of a question. I will confirm another time.
I think you're judging Elektra and Deadpool.
Don't spin this back on me. I'm just reading the news.
I know you are, but no, I'm saying. But back to what you were saying about the old movies. Daredevil does some things right, some things wrong. Surprisingly, I think Elektra does more things right, but nobody cared. Like nobody cared, and the story's not very good. I think that's the problem with it. But like, does she look cool in it? Yeah, I guess.
She has the things. She's red.
She still doesn't look Greek.
She does the stuff, right? And
yeah.
Well,
she does things.
On the toy news, we're what are we, 2 weeks out from a San Diego Comic-Con 2023, and some of the panel stuff starting to come out. We won't go through all of the Marvel's stuff, but I brought out some of the hitters. On Friday around noon, we're going to have the Hasbro Marvel Legends panel. I know this is your domain. What are you looking forward to here?
A few things. I love this panel because this is a chance for the team to actually like see all of the toy celebrities that have come to be out of the last few years of toy reviewers becoming a thing. It's a gathering. It's like a mini convention of all the most famous toy collectors all there in one room, and it's really adorable to see how much the Hasbro team cares about like what those people do for their brand and stuff, and so they'll bring figures and ask those people to announce them because they have some special place in their hearts. So like when they brought Razor back last year, the toy,
the Shartimus thing, right?
No, they asked Robo from the Fwoosh.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's from Arkansas and Razorback is from Arkansas, and I don't think he was so blown away when he saw that toy because he never thought he would ever get a Razorback toy, and it's an adorable thing that they do. And so for me, one of the reasons I go is just because like I feel like I'm with people that totally understand me.
You're with the toy freaks there.
I'm with my people when I'm in that room, and I love it so much. So on that token, I don't care what they show me. On the other hand, though, I know that the G.I. Joe HasLab is going to end 3 days before this Comic-Con panel. And so I'm pretty excited at the possibility that they will do the actual HasLab Avengers announcement at Comic-Con. I think that's the place to do that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I mean, then they have the
it
floor
big.
space. This is on Friday, so you announce it and then you put the thing out on display on Saturday, right?
Yeah, exactly. Do it like that.
What
That would be
is it's a
so cool.
Quinjet, right? That's what the talk in the town is.
Is it? I don't know. I'm not mad if it's a Quinjet. That's really cool. That's cool. Because if it's a Quinjet, you know what that means? Well, one, if it's a Quinjet and
Well,
it
you got to buy
sells
two.
well, if it sells well, you know what it means? It means that one day we will get the Blackbird, the X-Men jet.
Oh,
That is the
yeah.
goal. That is what
Is that
everybody
too big
wants.
though? Do they all
Hell yeah.
fit?
Dude, it's so big. The Blackbird is so big that, like, if we ever got that, every X-Men fan ever would just shit a brick. Like, it would just be the coolest thing ever. Did you see? Did you have? Do you have the Batmobile on this news?
No,
Did you see that thing?
it's the one from the Flash, so they just reskinned it. It is
The
cool. It's
the
big.
Batmobile?
Yeah, the '89 Batman McFarlane Batmobile.
Yeah, you're saying it's from the Flash. I don't know what you mean by
Yeah, they released they released a Keaton Batman Batmobile for the Flash movie.
Oh,
As,
really?
and
I
then
didn't.
so the one that's the '89 version is a reskin of that one. It's just with a matte paint. And then they have a new '89 Batman toy
I
with it.
didn't know they've sold more than one 7-inch scale Batmobile.
Yeah,
Like from that line. That's amazing.
for the car that never got driven in that movie.
Yeah, but still, like, it's like people just want the cars, you know, and so they can drive
Yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah.
That's the whole point of having toys, is to do the things that you wish they would have
I
done
like
in
the
the movies.
Mondo animated Batman Batmobile. That's a sick looking.
Yeah, but Mondo's scales is a little. I mean, their pricing is crazy too. So, but yeah, I agree. That's a good one too. That's an excellent one.
Another heavy hitter of a panel coming to Hall H. We are getting a Marvel Spider-Man 2, the PlayStation 5 game coming out later this fall. They're going to be doing a hour-long panel up in the big old Hall H. Remember the last game that was there? Avengers?
Was Avengers in Hall H?
That was in Hall H, yeah.
I didn't go to the panel.
I think that's where they unveiled Kamala Khan for the first time. They was kind of teased, but they, if I'm not mistaken, they showed her there for the first time.
Yeah, I don't need commercials. I like who are they trying to sell this game to? Like
Nerds at Comic-Con.
who at Comic-Con was not planning to buy the game
I mean,
until
get
they
some of the
saw
voice
this panel?
talent. You got Tony Todd there. He's playing Venom. You don't want to go see Tony Todd for an hour?
I don't care. He's in The
Okay.
Witcher. I get him all the time in The Witcher.
Well, they also have a handful of other panels. We have to get into them, but up until this point, anything else that was been announced that's going to be there that you're kind of excited for?
I know our friend Oliver just shared earlier today that one of the exclusives at the Mondo, I think it's a Mondo exclusive. It's the Prince Adam He-Man
Oh yeah.
from the What's Going On video. Oh my god.
Is it a bust or is it a figure?
I don't know, but it looks so good. It's awesome. I just like that things that niche can exist at a Comic-Con, and that's why San Diego Comic-Con is my absolute favorite place on the planet. It's just like everything that you could ever hope somebody would enjoy, some specific thing is there. Like, it doesn't, you don't have to like that.
There's something for everybody, and like you
Yeah.
can get really granular with the nerdy shit. You can do fine there.
But the coolest thing is the more nerdy you are, the more you can enjoy. Like if you love Star Trek, dude, you're gonna have a blast there. If you love Star Trek and Star Wars, woo, even better. If you love Star Wars, Star Trek, and the Terminator, like, you know what I mean? You just keep adding to it. You just add.
There's a group there that they set up a desk by the one of the ends of the hall where a lot of the video games are, and it's basically like sign this petition to get Disney to make John Carter 2. And I love it. I love how I like John Carter. I like that movie.
But
and I love how specifically nerdy that is. And you know what? What's funny? Last year at one of the directors on directors panel, the director of John Carter 2 basically shared out Like he brought in notes and production art from John Carter too.
Oh,
Like
they already have the stuff, huh?
yeah, he plotted out the second movie and the third movie, and it was kind of cool. Like, because only shit like that happens at Comic-Con where you get these very
Yeah.
candid. Because
Yeah.
we're 10, 15 years removed from that movie at this point.
Yeah.
But you get some sort of closure. I mean, the end of the spectrum on that is the Snyder cut, right? That shit is straightly from the crazy ass nerds out of Comic-Con.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there are toxic people everywhere. So what are you gonna do? Yeah. But hey, welcome to Sean Ruffner for joining us. It's been a while since I talked to you. And he recommended that all our audience hit that like button, and I think that's a good
Smash
advice.
it.
Yeah. Wow. We talked about a lot of stuff that wasn't Secret Invasion. Did you want to talk about?
Yeah. Do you want to talk about Secret Invasion? Is that why we're here?
I guess. I mean, I don't know. You.
I don't think I introed it either. We're talking about Secret Invasion this week.
Nah, you did
Episode 3. I mean, if you're watching the show, it's context clues, right? We did 2 last week. We're doing 3 this week.
I mean, there's a thumbnail, so
yeah, you know what you're watching.
If you clicked on it, you know. But yeah, I guess we're actually here to talk about Secret Invasion 3 after we've talked an hour about not that. It came out this week, right? We're recording
this Wednesday, recording on a Friday.
On the 7th of July. Yeah. I watched that episode twice. I know last week I said that the episode ended in a way that I was suddenly very intrigued.
Does your intrigue continue?
Nah.
Intrigue continue?
Nah. I kind of got bored with it again.
It did fall a little flat this episode. Yeah, which is crazy considering they basically stopped World War III, and this is like a plateau. I feel like of this.
And see, that's what I'm saying. I think the fact that like they at least postponed World War III in an episode, they showed spy work going crazy and everything like that.
It's not glamorous.
Nothing hit for me, and honestly, like the twists don't matter to me. Because I think my big problem is like if you just averted World War III today, what are the stakes of this show? Like I don't really feel the stakes. I know they keep saying they're going to wipe out all of humanity, but like they're not. You know they're not. Like it's like am I spoiling it? You know, spoiler warning, guys.
Nick Fury wins. I mean, they could pull like a Spider-Man No Way Home, and
I think I think that's my problem is like I want to believe that this show will end in a way that leaves people jaw dropped and instantly heading to TikTok to say, what does that mean for the future of MCU? I want to believe it's going to do that because in general, Marvel's pretty good at hitting that beat every time they do something, right? Everything they do gets something memeable. You get something memeable out of it. And so I'm waiting for the meme moment, like the moment that just causes people to
thumbnail.
Be like, yeah, like, and so I haven't seen it yet because, and I've talked about it before, but like, I think the big problem with this story versus what it is in the comics is the comics is from a very different point of view and time. And in the comic Secret Invasion, you don't know that the replaced people are still alive somewhere in a basement being perfectly preserved so that they can come back and rejoin society.
In this episode.
And they led with that in the first episode too. And they've reiterated that point every episode so far. We're in episode 3, right? And they keep showing you the basement people. And it's kind of annoying to me because it removes all the stakes. You know what I mean? Like if they threatened the basement people, maybe I'd care more. But so I think the reason it bothers me.
Another basement somewhere. There's a million of them on this planet. There could be a second basement.
You're missing the point.
I know. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah. Are you? You're just saying stuff. Like I don't understand what you mean by there's a second basement. My point is like as long as we know that the people are safe and sound, it doesn't make me care that they're being impersonated. You know what I mean? Like in the comics, when I found out Elektra was a Skrull, I was like, oh crap, how long has Elektra been a Skrull and where is the other Elektra, right? But with this show, you take one half of that question away automatically, right? I still wonder, oh, how long's she been a scroll? But I know where she is. Like what happened to her. I know she's down in the basement, so it's fine. So like that's what makes it weird for me is the stakes are.
You don't like basements. That's just what it is.
No, I'm just saying like we know where the heroes go at the end of the story. They go down to the basement and they free everybody. You know what I mean? And that makes it. I don't I don't like that. Now, would it be awesome if they nuked everybody in the basement instead? And then you're like, oh, that's not good. Yeah, that'd be cool. They ain't gonna do that. They're not gonna do that. Especially because there's
I
a good
don't
chance.
think it's going to end like that simply for the fact that there's scrolls who don't want the people in the basement, right? I think there's more nuance to what they set up in the show that going to the
What do you mean
basements
there's scrolls that don't want the people in the basement?
like there's faction of scrolls that actively want to like help people.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's good scrolls and bad scrolls, but like the bad scrolls have to be defeated, and that means you have to free all the people that were being impersonated this whole time. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like it's eventually the status quo will be reset. So like, if we find out, which we will, that Don Cheadle is in the basement as well, is his roadie, I don't really care because like they need to contextualize it. Like how far reaching is imposter roadie? Is imposter roadie, is scroll roadie the one who got shot by Vision and fell down from the sky and got paralyzed and then got nursed by Iron Man and recovered and now has super high tech devices to help him walk, like assist him in walking. And therefore, if you suddenly show us that Rhodey is in the basement, does this Rhodey not have a disability? Because F that, dude, I'll be really pissed if all that trauma that Scroll Rhodey went through is for nothing. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's still his trauma. It's still Scroll Brody's trauma.
Yeah, but I don't care about Scroll Rhodey because his whole agenda has been to take over the world. You know what I mean? So it invalidates you. I'm sorry. If Hitler gets hit by a bus and becomes a paraplegic, I don't have empathy for Hitler if he's Hitler. Like it doesn't matter. I'm not being ableist here. I'm being the
I don't know how to
opposite.
spin out of this.
Yeah, well, you said it. So, but do you get my point? Like,
I do.
The stakes aren't there.
I mean, this is the problem with the movies too, right? Like, whatever happens between now and Secret Wars, the Avengers or company will win, right? Like,
Yeah.
Like they're gonna win. It's stuff might change, shit might go south in some ways, but they're gonna win.
Yeah, but it's not the part where they win that's bothering me. It's the part where that's a good. I mean, we've definitely asked that question before, Sean. So, is the real roadie Terrence Howard? That would be hilarious and awesome, but I don't think that's going to happen.
What if? Okay, hear me out. What if it is right? And they reveal that Wong is a scroll and he mind wiped everybody. Just think that Terrence Howard, Don Cheadle's Terrence Howard, or vice versa.
I asked the question again, but to what end? Like
to make it silly.
Oh, okay. Well, if it's to make it silly,
you can have some silly stuff in your show.
I mean, would you really like that?
If it was silly, yeah, I would.
Okay. All right.
I actually kind of would.
If it was silly, fine. If they can make me believe that that the silliness works in the context of the show, fine. But you know what I mean? Like I think tonally you're asking the show to change directions in a way that it shouldn't. So I think they're kind of trapped, right? They're trapped in a prison of their own creation. They've created a super serious show where the world is in danger, but like you showed us that all the people are safe and sound down below. They're just sleeping. They're just having dreams about their favorite things, like their passwords and stuff like that, and eventually you could just wake them up and then we're fine, So yeah, yay, we're gonna get super scrolls. He said the name, he said the word in this episode.
He did say the name.
He said the word, and then you saw he used extremists to heal after he got his hand cut in that scene in the cafe. These are all cute things, but I mean, here's my thing. I remember how well Extremis worked for everybody who had it in the last time we saw it. So I don't think he should be super jazzed to be rocking Extremis in him. He's kind of a ticking time bomb, right? Like, I mean,
he's a scroll. He can kind of heal himself, right?
I mean, they don't have like super healing. They can get killed by a bullet, as seen so far several times.
Well, the extremist gives him the healing, right?
Yeah, no, I know. That's what I'm saying. But it's not because he's a scroll. It's just because,
I
Extremis.
I don't think I think my statement earlier where it plateaued, that's my best guess. Like I'm not more or less excited after this episode.
Yeah.
It was just an episode of Secret Invasion. I did like seeing Nick Fury do Nick Fury things
Was he
where
doing Nick Fury things?
he saves the world from a nuke, and there's no fanfare with it. He just does it. He
Yeah,
doesn't
but
know what else. I
but
do like
he
how they
did
said
he
at
do
the
it?
beginning.
Did he do it?
Contextually, in the beginning, he calls Olivia Colman's character, right? And he says, "Hey, I have a lead on a scroll high up in the U.S. government."
Yeah,
And
and then
then
they
all of a sudden, they're hunting down a British what's the Navy cap Commodore.
no, it's not all of a sudden. It's because Talos got intel from his daughter that a UN plane was going to be shot out of the sky by a sub, and so when Talos provided that very useful information to Nick Fury changed course and said, "Okay, this is priority. We'll worry about the high-ranking official later." So, and then that's the whole episode, right? The entire episode is just here's a tease at something bigger. Then here, let's fill in the episode with a fun like stop a nuke storyline. That's also really just an elaborate excuse for Talos to kill Emilia Clarke's, or not Talos, for Gravik to kill Gaia. That was for me the most shocking thing, but in a weird way, because I'm like, people stop killing characters that I don't care about in this show.
But to your point about the people in the basement, there is still a Gaia, right, in the basement somewhere.
No,
So
whoever. Okay, no, that's not true.
there's
No,
a person she's
no,
impersonating in the basement somewhere.
no, that's not true.
How's that not true?
No, no, they don't need to have a person in the basement to impersonate them.
I know.
They have the people in the basement are all important figures in the world that they're keeping there so that they can mentally extract more information from them. But that's this very specific group of people that are in charge of doing that.
Maybe
Like,
she's important and we don't know it yet.
no, she's
Same thing
not
with
important
Gravik.
because nobody recognizes her every time she walks around the street. She's not important. Like, that's what I'm saying.
I think she is important. I'll counter with you there.
Do you think that
Generally, to be
Emilia
recognized
Clarke
to not be
is
important.
no? That fine. That's I guess true, but like
I will leave it at this. I think Emilia Clarke will show back up in this season in some capacity as another character, not
she's
Gaia.
gonna show up she's gonna show up next week as previously on Secret Invasion, and then gunshot dead. Like that's what she's gonna show. I mean, if she's somebody else, like that's a weird move to not be impersonating that character, right? If she is Abigail Brand, the way they announced that she was going to be Abigail Brand all these years ago, then why wasn't Gaia trying to do Abigail Brand stuff? Why was Gaia just doing weird Gaia stuff?
Abigail Brand could be a shield agent.
But she wasn't doing shield agent things. She wasn't trying to impersonate a person. She was just walking around with a human face. That's what I'm saying.
I think we're the cart's leading the horse with that mindset a little bit. I'm open to her being someone. If it is Abigail Brand, I can see the stepping stones. All right, she gets freed from whatever machine she's in. She goes in the Super Scroll machine. She does weird shit there because she's a mutant or a human, whatever they write story wise, and bam, she has powers.
Okay, that went far.
That's what my mind goes to after at the end of that episode once they killed her. And to the point,
Okay.
there is even a teaser for next week's episode where they play on the fact on Amelia Clark being gone and hinting, "Am I done?" So, I rest my case.
There's a teaser where?
I think it was like a Twitter teaser where it's like they kind of recap the episode and
Oh, I would
Amelia
rather
Clark.
Maria Hill tweeted that.
I mean, she's gone. They put her ass in a box.
I know. It's so
They brought
stupid.
out her mom.
Um, I mean, conversely, the other thing she could just do is stand up after being shot. Like she could have just turned into a
She
scroll
could
to
have
make you think she
taken.
died to
She
make you
could have been a
think.
super scroll all along.
Sure,
Fair.
she could just stand up right at the end. I don't think it has to be some weird thing like the Amelia Clark that's down in the basement is going to become some superhero that we can't even think of because like it doesn't have anything to do with scroll powers. I don't think it has to be that convoluted. I think the it's Occam's razor, right? Like the simplest explanation is probably the most
She's
likely.
probably not dead.
She's probably not dead. Yes, that's probably what happened. Yeah.
Well,
Just
what was there any highlights in the episode for you?
uh I really liked the English breakfast that Talos was eating. That looks so delicious, man. I was like, I could go for an English breakfast
I
right
am
now.
still down for all of the character scenes with Talos and Fury. I really like
I
the
was less
Talos
down.
and Gravik.
I was less down for the Talos and Fury scenes this time around. And here's why, like, because I explained them to my wife because she didn't watch the episode with me the first time. And she single-handedly in like one sentence just completely took the fun out of what I explained to her. I was like, oh yeah, so in this episode, Talos basically reminds Fury that every success he's ever had while being at Shield was due to Talos and the 19 scroll operatives that Fury had as his ultimate elite spy network all over the world that helped him take down bad guys and get nuclear codes and do all these things, right? And so when I told that to my wife, I was like, yeah, it's kind of cool. Like Talos was saying, and then she was like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, you think that's cool that they completely took away all of Nick Fury's agency? And I was like, damn,
Did
she's
it
kind of
though?
right. She's kind of right. She kind of did. Like, and so much so that like Talos is stopped the nukes from happening, right? Like
Mhm.
he actually got his daughter on the phone and got her to get the information he needed to impersonate uh, Robert Fairbanks and issue a cancellation of the nukes. So like, yes, it's cool that Nick Fury held a child at gunpoint to free the guy from hostage, I guess. But that's literally all Nick Fury did in that moment, So
I don't think it removes him of his agency, but it does for me validate a lot of his success. Right?
yeah, I think it can
It
do
makes it a
both.
more practical stepping stone. But I think that conversation specifically, I really enjoyed because it's almost how to put it behind every successful white person, right? In history, almost there is a team of people of color and minorities that propped up their success or got them
Yeah,
their
yeah,
gains.
I see
So
the
I like
parallels.
the parallel of having a high ranking black man suddenly be kind of put in that position by effectively and
Exploiting
even
another race. Yeah,
exploiting another race. And I think that's a
yeah.
really interesting subtext that the show has
No,
been exploring.
you're not wrong. I think that's a cool thing. That is a cool thing, but it makes Nick Fury less Nick Fury. Do you know what I mean? It makes him more MCU Nick Fury, but now like this character is very, very far away from any comic Nick Fury ever. You know what I mean? Like they're almost completely just not the same person at all. And I think that's where I come from is like it's kind of weird that like because you got to remember like everybody wants like their version of a character from the comics, right? Like you had a very specific look that you wanted Captain Marvel to rock in the movies, right? And so you're really
Sash
happy
baby.
that yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is like Nick Fury's been in the comics for years, man, like years. He's he's excuse me,
Yeah,
one
one
of
of
the
the
old
OGs.
he's one of the OG Marvel characters. So like I think the fact that the character keeps becoming more and more of not that character is weird. Do I think Nick Fury pulls some shady shit to like get a job done? Yeah, but like I don't know. I feel like it's less. I feel like it's more black and white than this. This is like the most gray area ever. Like this is like okay, Nick. I don't even know like how I feel about you right now. You know, like it's. I feel like poor Talos and what a good friend Talos has been to you
I
this
mean,
whole
Talos
time.
does love and
He's
trust
his
his man. Like
he is
he's
his
ride or
ride or
die.
die, and he still doesn't understand it after all this. Yeah, I mean, Sean has an interesting point, which is what if Fury is a scroll? Then that just becomes a super frustrating experience because we know how much unreliable narrator stories are fun for everybody, right? Like, um, that would kind of suck, I think, right? I don't know. I don't know. Would it be cool?
I wouldn't be upset if he was a scroll, but
Hmm.
well, let me put it this way: in the next movie. But
Sorry, you cut out, but what was that?
I was gonna ask, like, where do you think we get Nick Fury next? We get it in the Marvels, but I'm
Uh-oh.
his arc hasn't really been. You don't see the end of his arc, right? And I'm
Yeah,
curious to when they're gonna start putting in those breadcrumbs.
I would love an end to his story just because I feel like we've gotten ends to so many other characters that we didn't want to see go away. I would just rather Nick Fury goes away before he's just too old to be playing this character. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of how I feel about it. Uh, I don't know what their end game is for Fury. I think that's kind of my weird problem with him now. And maybe they have something really cool. Maybe he ends his time in the Marvel universe pulling out a purple lightsaber. Who knows? Like it's just I don't know. Like I thought I was down after the second episode because like that speech that Nick Fury had with Rhodey was really cool. But now in hindsight, when they basically confirm that Rhodey's a scroll in this episode, uh, then I'm like, oh, you're a dick for having that conversation last week.
It does make that conversation a little weird on the
It
scroll
but
side,
well,
on
it
both
just
sides.
yeah, right,
But
right.
but in hindsight, though, I shared your thing with our Slack where that Rhodey calls him Nick multiple times in that conversation, and as we learned in this episode, no one calls him Nick.
Yeah, but
So
also as we learn in this episode, Don Cheadle's voice is on the phone at the end of this
yeah.
episode.
So, but to me, that brings more context to that conversation on where the moment he calls him Nick, Fury's ears are already perked up,
Yeah.
and now he's in Fury mode of doing his shit.
Yeah, so maybe it's fun to go back and watch that scene again. You know what I mean? Like, did you do that? Did you
I
go back
did.
and
I
watch?
watched that
Yeah.
scene. Actually, I went back and watched Captain Marvel too, just to get some context
Oh
on the
yeah.
scrolls.
Did any of them have names besides
No, but
Soren?
there were some different looking scrolls, like smaller scrolls with like bigger eyes in that
Oh
movie.
yeah, I think I remember that. It was
It was a
like
little
a
weird.
trip. That was an homage to like Jack Kirby's original designs of the scrolls. But yeah, I remember that. But yeah, how did that scene feel this time around?
It's a little different. It is a little different. I don't know if you necessarily like visually see him perk up when he calls him Nick, but I do think in hindsight, his dialogue does shift around a little bit more.
He is pretty aggressive in that scene,
Mhm.
right? Like he gets pretty aggro.
He
And
doesn't necessarily ask for help a lot, right? So
yeah,
if I'm Nick Fury, like you saw how hard it was to get for him to ask for help for Talos, right, in this episode.
I mean, he doesn't
So
ask for help a lot because he makes people help him.
yeah, but
I mean, like every instance
he
of
was
Nick Fury
asking for
ever.
help in that context, in that conversation.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I think that was, I took it as almost that he's testing him because he knows that Rhodey knows he won't ask for help, right? And he knows if he does ask Rhodey for help, he will help him. right? So the fact that those things didn't happen, that I can see that being like a trigger of like, okay, I know this dude's a scroll. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which is also why he went to his wife and started asking her who she is now. Like he was, which I
Yeah,
mean, I think that was the most interesting part of the episode, honestly, for me, was okay, you had a wife and who mourned you after the blip for 6 years. Then you came back, said, "Hi, honey, I'm home. Oh shit, I got work to do. I'm out."
I
And then
do
left.
love everyone chewing him out about that. That is super fucked up.
That is messed up, man. Because like how like at this point in the story, like how many years removed are we from the blip? Is it like 1, 2 years,
I
something
think we're
like
like
that?
5, dude.
Are we 5 years from the
Yeah,
blip? I don't know. Um, it's hard to tell. But all I'm saying is, if he's been away from home for 11 years, basically, and he can just come home, walk in the door, and kiss her, you should worry about that. There's something going on there that is
but
not.
the people giving him shit is kind of, I do love that reoccurring theme
Yeah,
because
I do.
you're getting to see him again be have some more emotion. He's not the cool super spy Nick Fury. He's the husband Nick Fury, the best friend Nick Fury, the mentor Nick Fury in those conversations.
I will give this credit to the show is I think the wife thing is interesting. It might play out a little too convenient, but I do think one of the bigger problems I've had with the show is it's 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 hard for me to listen to Gravik's speeches and hear and know that the majority of the scroll population is down to clown with him, because like it almost sounds like if you were listening to this guy talk about entire genocide of the human race, like you would think like, should I be at this meeting? Like, is this the right
I
you know what I
mean,
mean? Like,
historically,
I'm saying like it's a lot of really nice scroll people that, yeah, they haven't had the life they wanted for the last 30 years, but what I'm saying is I like that the wife is there, because if anybody has the right to be upset about the way Nick Fury has treated the scroll, woo, after knowing she's been like waiting for him for 11 years, that's, yeah, I don't mind. I don't blame her at all for going rogue and wanting to kill everybody.
people following charismatic leaders is an
But I don't
unfortunate
think he's
part
charismatic. I don't think
of
he's
our
charismatic
of
though.
our race as a
He's
species.
he's not charismatic though. I don't think
I
he
think
is.
he's pretty, you know.
I don't believe him as a Hitler. I don't. I don't believe him. Like, I don't know.
I don't.
He's
I don't. It's the second time we brought up Hitler in the Skins podcast.
hey man, I'm trying to get views. trying to get
Um,
trying to get the
yeah,
algorithm
and
to
then
work.
there's a whole side of this country that follows a crazy talking person. So, um,
Yeah.
I see, I get it. You know, what to your point, it might not be as elegant as it could be, but
Yeah.
I get Gravik's point. I get his why he's doing the things he's doing. I enjoyed his conversation with Talos, and where Talos kind of like
I like his conversation with Talos.
he spins it back and says like, you know, the humans
He
are
turned
like
in.
at their best when they're against like a common person,
I
and
was
I like that because he doesn't phrase it as like saving the humans. He saves it like you're gonna kill us all by being stupid. You know,
Yeah.
there was like
I
a
think,
self-preservation angle that he was playing that I enjoyed.
well, he wasn't actually saying that. He was saying, well, good news for me though, I'm going to be on their side and they'll understand that. They'll see the difference between me and you. So I don't think he was saying it from a point of fear for himself. I think it was maybe a point of fear for his people that are following Gravik, because he, and that was the other weird thing for me, is he was saying not all of us are going to die, because all of us that haven't been poisoned by your lies, the humans are going to see the difference between us and you guys. And I just, for me, it begs the question of, okay, Gravik, or I mean, Talos, you keep talking about how it's your side versus their side. I've only seen Talos's side. Every time every time Talos talks about himself, or sorry, I've only seen Gravik's side. Every time Talos talks about his group, the only person I know working with him was Soren. So like, I'm Soren and Gaia is what I mean to say. So like, who are his people? Like
Well,
he
he
only
has the lady from the council, right, on his side.
Shirley. Shirley's the
Shirley, he has
best. Shirley's
Shirley.
the best.
Yeah, he has people.
He has Shirley.
He has
It's
Shirley.
so I think that's what I'm waiting for is like the stakes
But
haven't been
they
properly
set it up
established.
though that he was a previous scroll general, right?
Well,
Or
right,
he was,
because but he
so
was
he is a
appointed that
well-known he's a well-known figure in their
culture in their
culture.
culture. Yeah, for
So
sure.
I to your point, I do think that you could have gotten more like of his ideology out there with other scrolls, to hey,
Yeah,
you should be coming to me or doing this or join my side.
it feels like it's one guy versus all the scroll, and that's like I don't think that's what it is, and I wish they would just kind of convey that it's not just Talos and Nick Fury versus the scroll. It's this army versus this army. Like it's yeah. I'm just trying to I want to see a war between scroll on scroll. Like I want to see like shape changing. I want to. We already know we're gonna get a CG. Like fan fest at the end because that's what every Marvel story does.
You get a super scroll, yeah.
So like let's set the stakes. Let's set the stage. I mean, let's like who are the people doing battle on the good guys side? Like I don't know. I don't want to see Ben Mendelsohn fight people. Like come on, man. No, I don't want to see Nick Fury fighting either. Like I want to see them solve the problems backstage, while their soldiers are doing cool stuff. So I'm still waiting to understand who the good guy soldiers are because Maria Hill's dead. And Gaia's probably not dead, but I don't care about
Gotta
her.
be back.
Yes.
I'm surprised new players haven't come in yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's
where is the new toys?
Considering we only have 3 episodes left, we're going a little slow right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going a little slow. Well, let's start wrapping this up. I mean, what do you want next week? Like what's the ramp up next week then?
I want somebody to kill all of the basement people.
Okay. Basement people are gonna die.
I want the basement people to die, so suddenly there are stakes, and then like the scroll people who impersonate them, you'll actually have to like convince them whether or not to be good or bad because they're the only version we have left. Like it's or something with stakes. Like I'm tired of watching people that didn't matter to the story get killed, or didn't have a chance to matter to the story get killed. Like I like. Remember when Martin Freeman died at the beginning of the episode, the season? Like that absolutely didn't matter at all to anybody.
The
You know what I mean?
weird stuff is like, A, there's a Martin Freeman possibly somewhere in a basement, maybe not. But B, there's like a lot of dead scrolls on this planet. Like, you wouldn't think someone would find the body?
Right? Yeah, no, I thought that too when Gravik assassinated that guy in the woods the other day.
He just left him there. I'm like,
he just left a dead alien in the woods, and I'm like, that's really weird.
Maybe like they turned to ash or something, but
they don't because
they don't. Yeah, we've seen them be like autopsied.
Yeah, so no, I know it's weird. It's also weird. Like we got confused when Gravik's hand got cut because he bled red, and I'm like, I thought they'd bleed
They're
green,
purple, right? Green,
purple or something. Yeah, I don't know. I was getting confused by things, but whatever. I'm not gonna nitpick because I still am concerned with the bigger picture, which is I don't understand the point of this show yet. Like I thought I did for
to change the status quo of the MCU.
Is it, or is it to keep it right where it needs to be until the next movie comes out?
Edge the status quo until something happens.
I mean, I'm just along for the ride. I literally said those words as my wife was nitpicking the episode. I'm just like, yeah. At this point, I'm just hanging out because, like, why not?
I'm hanging out with it. again, we kind of went up the roller coaster. Now we're kind of steady, and I want some Andor level. Like, if you're not going to give me the action, I want some crazy commentary on
Here's my
what's going on in
question.
the world. Mm-hmm.
We are 3 episodes in.
Yep.
Is Secret Invasion better than Hawkeye?
Ooh, Hawkeye was 6, right? Or that 8?
I think Hawkeye was 6 episodes too.
Ooh. I think it's better than the first 3 episodes of Hawkeye.
Yeah, I don't even know, man. I'm not even sure. Like, I thought we had really one good scene last episode.
The car chase was episode 3 in Hawkeye, right?
Yeah,
that was a good car chase.
I feel like this show is leading me in so many directions that, like, as of right now, today, I'm like, I cannot firmly say that this show is better than Hawkeye. Ask me last week, I would have said yes, definitively.
The cast, and talked about last week, the cast of this show continue to elevate the show. I think they make it better than what it is on paper.
You know what's crazy is, are you watching The Bear? Right, you're
still watching. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Have you gotten to where Olivia Colman is in The Bear?
Nope. But thanks for spoiling that.
Yeah, spoiling it. But you got to where Will Poulter was too, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. What I thought's crazy, Will Poulter, the guy that plays Adam Warlock, plays in like one episode of The Bear, and then Olivia Colman also similarly one episode. And I thought the two of them in their one episode performance gave me so much more than I ever imagined they could give, that when I go back and look at them in the MCU projects they're in, I'm like, why aren't you doing that? Like, like, I don't know. So it's interesting because I feel like sometimes the MCU gets really good caliber actors and then doesn't do anything great with them. And so while I like Sonya Fallsworth, I kind of just only like her because I've seen her, the actress, be so much more than she is.
It's nowhere near the shit that Andor pulled, by all means. That shows like the shit that Andor pulled with the people that they brought in and the moments that they were able to get it.
They brought in Stellan Skarsgård, and honestly, that was probably the best thing I've ever seen Stellan Skarsgård do. Like, he acted the crap out of it. No.
Yeah, or Andy Serkis' stuff. Like, every guest they bring in, it's like a master class on guest appearance. And I think this show, it's some of the best that Marvel's done. But yeah, there's clearly like a
they're not using talent in the way that they could be.
Yeah,
and that's how I feel about. There is a high caliber of actors in this, but like Ben Mendelsohn, bro. If you've ever followed Ben Mendelsohn's career, like, this is the worst thing he does. Like, and I'm not even saying he's bad. I'm just saying this is the worst thing he does. You know what I mean? Like, I'm saying he is a great, talented actor.
Yeah. Well, they all are.
And it feels like we're getting a waste of his talents in as Talos. Like, I want to see a little bit more out of this character. So it's weird. It's a lot. I
still have hope. Like, I'm not down on the show, though. I think I want to make that clear. Like, I am still very excited for the last 3 episodes on here, but
I'm a little down on it because I love the second episode so much, and episode 3 just fell so flat for me. It was just like, I fell asleep.
We got to see the. I think episode 4 is the hook, right? That's always how it goes. And then episode 5 is where the crazy shit happens. And then
wait,
6
is 4 the hook?
I feel like 4 is a little bit of the hook, right? 5 is always the best episode.
5's not always the best episode. 5's the weirdest episode. Well, no. All right, 5 is the most stuff happens in 5.
We got Yelena in episode 4 in Hawkeye.
Yeah. But wasn't she in 5 also?
Yeah, she was in 5 and 6. Yeah.
Yes. But there was a lot of stuff going on. I don't want to use Hawkeye anymore as a reference point. Like, it's not a good.
The show is still young to not be bad.
Fair enough.
So
fair enough.
I think that's where we'll wrap it up on this week's episode of Den Excelsior.
Oh, look, Sean Ruffner agrees. Fell flat, I think, is what he's agreeing with.
Fell flat, but it didn't go down.
It's not down. I'm still gonna watch the show. I still want to know why we're watching it.
Well, those of you who were still down to stick with us throughout the show, we appreciate it. Like and subscribe. Do your thing on Twitch. Anything helps. We also got a Patreon, patreon.com/DanXmedia. If you want to kick us a few bucks, you also get some cool content, some cool photos. Again, we have an award-winning photographer on our Patreon that you can have access to.
It's true.
And
he's asked me to clarify multi-award-winning.
Okay, a multi-award-winning photographer on there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, thanks for everyone for joining us. Thanks, Dennis, for coming on. Thanks you for letting me host. This has been Den Excelsior. Enough said.